There comes a point in every democracy when the truth stops sounding dramatic and starts sounding like a police report. And today, that report is coming from inside our own federal agencies. Over the last year, we've watched something unthinkable become disturbingly normal. Federal immigration agents involved in shootings, violent misconduct, and fatal use of force incidents, many of them justified by leadership before the investigations even began. That isn't an allegation. That's Reuters, The Washington Post, The Guardian, and AP News documenting. At least 16 DHS-related shootings since last summer, all declared justified before full reviews were completed. A 37-year-old U.S. citizen, Renée Good, shot and killed in Minneapolis by federal agents. Another man, Pretti, killed in the same city in a separate federal encounter. A federal judge threatening the ICE chief with contempt for refusing to comply with court orders. A documented pattern of fatal enforcement actions escalating nationwide, without corresponding transparency or accountability. Let me repeat that. A federal judge had to threaten contempt charges just to get the nation's immigration enforcement leaders to follow the law. And now we have a new report from the Pacific Anti-Fascist Research Collective, published through American Community Media, cataloging 29 current or former ICE and CBP agents with documented histories of domestic violence, sexual coercion, child sexual abuse, rape, kidnapping, and violent assault. These claims aren't coming from a rumor mill. They're cited cases pulled from arrests, convictions, court documents, and public reporting. Are they the government's official data sets? No. Are they consistent with broader patterns we already know about? Absolutely. Because this is not the first time oversight bodies have sounded the alarm. Inspectors general have repeatedly criticized DHS hiring practices, failures in vetting, and chronic gaps in use of force reporting. We have documented cases of agents with violent pasts being hired during workforce surges. We have sworn testimonies about toxic culture, retaliation, and leadership shielding misconduct instead of confronting it. And all of this is happening during the most aggressive interior enforcement push in modern history. You cannot unleash a massive federal crackdown while simultaneously weakening the guardrails that protect civilians from abuse. You cannot hand out badges and guns faster than you run background checks. You cannot call it law and order, while the people enforcing the law are not being held to the law themselves. Truth doesn't care about politics. The truth is that we have deadly force being used on American soil against U.S. citizens, without transparency, without accountability, and with a documented pattern of agencies clearing officers before the facts are even collected. The truth is that communities are living in fear, not because of immigration law, but because the federal agents enforcing that law are operating with less oversight than local police departments. And the truth is that if the people enforcing the law are not held accountable, then no one is safe, immigrant or citizen. This isn't about left or right. This isn't about immigration policy. This is about state power, due process, and whether we are still a nation where the government answers to the public. Because when you see rising fatal encounters, shrinking transparency, documented violent histories among agents, judges threatening contempt just to force compliance, and premature justified rulings before investigations conclude, you are not looking at isolated incidents. You are looking at a system under strain, losing its guardrails, sliding into the kind of unaccountable force that every free society should fear. And history has a name for that. It's not security. It's not enforcement. It's not patriotism. It is unchecked power. And unchecked power, no matter the administration, no matter the political party, has never once led a nation toward safety. Only toward the kind of silence that people remember for generations.